Welcome back to the channel, my dudes. Today, Dale, my old C5 Corvette that I just picked up, is in dire need of some new seats. We're gonna replace the OEM C5 seats with these budget-friendly seats that we got on Amazon. The individual price of these seats to about $180 to $190. After tax, it was $403, so they're $200 a piece. Very cheap and affordable seats. So after doing a bunch of research, there was a few details that I found that I think are important to share when installing these into your C5 Corvette. First off, you obviously need seat brackets. So this exact seat bracket is what another YouTuber used to install in his Corvette. The only thing about them and pretty much any of the other seat brackets are that you need to drill your own holes. So you line up one side of the bracket on the seat and the other side you have to drill your own holes, which is usually right in between the two holes that are already pre-drilled. So obviously I'm new to all this stuff. So like always, we're gonna bring my dad into the equation here and he's gonna actually help do the drilling and measuring of all that stuff so I don't screw it up. Now they're not a super expensive item. These I believe were $76 for a pair of them. And just so you guys know, every part we use today will be in the description below to the exact links that I purchased. Unless it doesn't work, then I won't put those links in there because obviously that didn't work. But after looking at plans on YouTube, I feel very confident this will be just fine. So I did label the brackets just so I knew which side was what, just for easy clarification. The one thing that's interesting, the passenger bracket has a taller footing right here than the driver's side. And I'll be totally honest with you guys, I have no idea if that's intentional. I have no idea if that's supposed to happen or if they're supposed to be exactly identical. I guess we'll really truly find out once we have the brackets in the car, and we should be good to go. So the YouTube video that I keep referencing for these exact parts, lots of really cool content. He has a C5 Z06 himself. Obviously, I don't have a Z06, but most of it is pretty much identical. He's even done follow-up reviews on the seats, like just telling everybody how they fit, how they still fit after a couple months, and then even a year. He just released a video. He's had him in for his Corvette for a year now. And so in his description on his install video, he listed all these parts, and that's exactly where I got all these. So considering I got all of my information from him, I just want to share it with you guys for continuity purposes and giving credit where credit is due. Because I'll be completely honest, if someone hadn't done these seats before, I probably wouldn't have bought them. I would have been a little nervous with how cheap they are. But in all honesty, these honestly seem more than fine. All right, so to get this party started, we're merely just gonna start taking the seats out and go from there. So hopefully I don't screw something up. All right, so now got the car completely gutted, got everything out of it. All that's left to do right now really is to test fit the brackets. All right, so let's, boom, test fit is in. All right, now that we know the brackets are in there, let's throw a seat in. These seats are lighter, but not significantly. All right, so placing the seat in just for a test fit. I mean, shoo, buddy. And just for kicks and giggles, I think I'm just gonna try them properly. I'm gonna go against what YouTube and the internet told me, but I'm gonna try the driver's seat in the driver's side versus what other people do, which is normally reverse them. So let's see how it looks. So the internet did not lie to us. The driver's side seat does not fit in the driver's side. This guy right here does not fit at all. Like, I was trying to shimmy it around a little bit, but like it just, we're all the way budged over here. The seat's completely sideways. No bueno. We definitely got to stick with the plan. I just thought it'd be good to try. The next step is to essentially drill some new holes on these brackets because they don't come from the factory fitting these specific seats. Not a big deal. To do that, we brought out the brains. So old man here.
Just bumped this against my face.
Smooth. Old man here is gonna be in charge of that part because I don't want to screw it up. They're relatively cheap for seat brackets. I think they were like 80 bucks after tax.
Seem to be of moderate, moderate to good quality, good welds. They're painted or powder. I don't think it's a powder coat, but it could be. No,
because I did scratch the crap out of it.
Oh, did you? Okay, so they're painted.
Yeah, right here. When I test fit, I did a little.
They'll do the trick is the thing. We're gonna measure the center of this hole to the center of the neighboring hole on the other side, and get that distance accurately, and then get this side lined up front to back, and then the the hole that we're going to make is going to go in between these. It might touch one or the other. It's a little hard to tell from here, but I think it'll be clean, so it should be all right. And then for the purpose of accuracy of the hole, we are going to scribe our line. We're going to center punch it, the center of our scribe. Then we're going to center drill it, and then we will drill a hole, a pilot hole, and then we'll drill the full-size hole. So we're not going to try and drill a 1/2 inch hole or whatever this is, probably 3/8 of a hole, 7/16, whatever. We're going to drill 2 holes just to make it easier, and it'll make a cleaner cut. So we just took our measurements, and we're going to measure 3 times. Probably cut twice, or, you know, no, I'm kidding. Measure twice, cut once is the old man rule of thumb. I didn't make that up, but it is true. And I did notice that the bottom of the bracket is different. So that means square. They're not square. So it might be a little sticky at first as it rolls, but I'm going to drill the holes in the bracket to the bracket in the seat so that they line up properly. And we'll see if the seat rails wear themselves in fine, but they're probably just going to be a little sticky.
It seemed as if the vet on vet guy had the same issue. He went at the solution slightly different, so we're just trying another way to do it.
We marked up our bracket, just kind of simply mark the holes that we're referencing from, because there are 2 holes, so we're just making sure it's easy to identify so we don't measure wrong, because I've done things like that before. The position of this, once it's in, if it's too far forward or too far back or cattywampus or whatever, we'll address it with this. Again, center drill. We're gonna step this in 2 drills. Because we don't have a workbench in here, we're working on the floor. So Aaron here is gonna hold this thing while I drill.
Oh, safety third! If I don't break a wrist today, I'm gonna be pissed. To get these nuts and bolts in, we got the nut down at this little silver guy right here. So you put a finger in to hold it, and the guy on top. Oh, that feels great on the finger. Okay, that's done. I need that tool.
You can actually just pull up on it and it'll do the same thing. It was funner to watch you burn your finger on it though.
This fucking game.
The reason being is we can put a ratchet here, easier than a wrench in there. The nut is the right size for that channel, so the channel just holds the nut still while we turn the bolt. But we're gonna leave these loose until they're all in, and then we'll tighten them all down.
All right, we got a little bit of a course correction here. Long story short, we're gonna flip the bolts from this way to the other way. Essentially what's happened is we started using some 1/2 inch bolts so that we could clear all the stops on the underside of the slide rail. But what's happening is the bolts aren't long enough to get into the locking nylon of the locking nuts. So we're not getting that lock. And well, why don't we just use Loctite?
Because we're not getting enough thread penetration into the nut. It's like going halfway through the nut.
Oh.
And it's just not, I don't feel good about it for a seat.
That's fair. For the first time ever, safety first.
We want the screw to protrude through this nylock a couple of threads worth at least. And we're like just touching the nylock right now the way it is. So we're gonna go back to a longer nut. I advised Aaron to get us this size nut so we could clear the bolt head that's going into the seat holding this bracket on in the rail.
You can see it like right.
Oh yeah.
See, so that's what we were trying to hop around.
I was trying to clear that with this because we were trying to go this side of the screw out, so just to be easier to tighten. And the nut fit the track so well that it made it easy to tighten. So that's what led us down that path. But we're gonna go backwards to go forwards.
Literally a 45-minute detour to go to the store to get shorter bolts.
Well, they didn't give us all the hardware.
Okay,
that's how it started.
Okay, so I did buy a hardware kit on Amazon, which was also advised in Vet on Vet's YouTube channel. I think he originally just put that in there because it's a Sparco seat like hardware kit. But it also came with not enough nuts, not enough washers, and different length bolts. So there was 4 inch long bolts,
inch of thread long, and then a 3/4,
and then 4 3/4 inch bolts. So it was kind of weird to begin with. So our solution was just to go to the store, get some 1/2 inch thread bolts. It's not long enough, so we're having a course corrector. I wasn't even going to bring that up because it just wasn't worth it, but because we're switching our entire attack here, I had to address it really quickly.
Oh, we do got to figure out the
fuses.
The fuses we have to pull out so the car's computer doesn't keep looking for passenger seat airbag stuff And so you pull the fuses to rectify that so that the light isn't on the dashboard.
Yeah, because right now the cable that connects to the motors of all the seats is just gonna hang out under there, right? It's just chilling.
Yep.
So the computer's gonna freak out if it doesn't see anything. So we're just gonna pull the fuses, call it a day.
Yeah, it'd be fun if we turned the car on and the airbag popped out or something out of the steering wheel.
Yeah, it doesn't sound expensive or anything. How much does it cost to repack an airbag? Or you have to get a whole new one, right?
Yeah, it's a new one. Yeah. And they're not. I don't know what they cost, but I know they're expensive.
Might as well get a new steering wheel at that point. Let's blow it. All right, so the seat's all bolted up.
See if I can scratch this thing.
Hope so. Nice and easy. Oh, just tighten her down, boys. All right, how is it?
Oh man, is the roof gonna clear with my big melon in here?
It's shorter than it was before, so I hope so.
Okay.
That is oh, okay, there you go. You can lean it back.
Okay. Get the Corvette lead. That's it.
All right, day 2. We didn't get to finish last night purely because we didn't have the right bolts. This is definitely just a couple-hour project, but we ran into a couple, not problems, just speed bumps along the road last night. So like I said, we did order a bolt kit on Amazon that was recommended from Vet on Vet 757. However, either our kit didn't come with all of the appropriate bolts, or that's just what the kit is, and maybe we should have ordered 2. Haven't dug too deep into it yet. So we went to the hardware store yesterday, got all new Nylock nuts and some new bolts and washers. So we got, 8 sets of everything. So unfortunately that didn't work. We got bolts that were just too short. Our plan at that point was to use a combination of the new bolts we just bought as well as the old ones. However, we got a different thread pitch on the new bolts than what we originally had. Last night it kind of turned into a cluster. We didn't have the right nuts and bolts that all have the same thread pitch, so we were fighting that. And also we realized we put the passenger seat in without a seatbelt, so that has to come back out anyways. But I do have the driver's seat here all buttoned up, everything's tightened down, got the seatbelt on it now, so we don't have a problem later. So I ended up waking up a little earlier today, went to a hardware store, got all the right nuts and bolts, just to make sure we were good across the board, so it shouldn't be a problem anymore. All right, so before we go too far though, I want to quickly explain the seatbelt situation. This is how the seatbelts originally were. This cable definitely was going into here. But that's just kind of the tattletale to the computer that you're not wearing a seatbelt. I just cut it. I'm very much a pro seatbelt user. I don't need this to beep at me if I'm moving my car. This bolt right here comes off. So this guy comes off and it has like a little wash. Oop. It has like this little nylon washer thing so the seatbelt can move freely without unscrewing it. And it literally just comes off. And then we take this to our new seats. So as you can see, instead of the outside of the bracket, I have the seatbelt going to the inside of the bracket right here. You can see right there how the nylon washer is facing the inside, so it can move. And I did crank down those bolts pretty good, and we're still able to get a little bit of movement out of the seatbelt. That's pretty much it at this point. So today I need to take the passenger seat out, put the seatbelt on it. I'll probably just start with putting the driver's side seat in, and then take care of the passenger seat. And then there are some fuses we need to take out. Pretty straightforward job. Really got to say thanks to my old man for helping me with the little bit of fabrication that we had to do. I don't know that I would have done it as well, and I probably would have butchered it. I very likely would have butchered it if I had done the fabrication on the brackets myself. So, genuine thank you to my old man, and also for him helping me get the right bolts and whatnot. I would have been lost. I will list in the description the types of bolts we used, and I'm not going to mix both of them. I'm just going to pick one. So just to clarify, we use the same size bolts across the board on the brackets. They're just different thread pitches. I will just pick one of the thread pitches, and I'll put that all in the description so you guys can see exactly what bolts we used. Just know I essentially removed my mistake out of what those are. Not a big deal. It's just nuts and bolts. Oh, and also just to clarify, that bolt with the washer on it for the seatbelt, the one that comes off of the OEM seats, make sure you keep that because you do need that for the new seats. We also got a new bolt for the seatbelts, so these shiny boys, pretty good steel right there, boys. Anyways, let's get to putting this seat in because it's 100% ready to go. So I am so hyped right now. We're in, baby. I'll be honest, wife didn't love them. She sat in it. It's a little snug. I'll be honest, they're a little snug. So hopefully over time they'll, you know, loosen up a little bit, you know, here and there, whatever. They just look better. Like, tell me that doesn't just look 1,000 times better. Once we get the steering wheel replaced, which, I mean, that's definitely like long-term, is getting the steering wheel replaced, but definitely short-term, a new shifter boot. It's fan-freaking-tastic. I love these seats. No, I haven't put the passenger seatbelt in yet. That's right next. And then under the fuses. And then literally we're done. The fact that I'm able to do this pretty easily, big deal for me. I haven't really worked on cars a whole lot. For the most, I've just changed oil. Very, very simple, basic things. I'm feeling awesome that I was able to do this 60% by myself. The other 40% was obviously my dad with the bolts and the minor fabrication to the brackets. But honestly, if I was alone to do it and I had him on the phone guiding me through it, totally could have done it. But like I said, super thankful my dad was here to help out with that. Just to get it done right the first time, minus the bolts. We had, you know, a little finagle with the bolts there, but don't forget, in the description are the exact amount of bolts and sizes of bolts I used and have worked fantastic. All right, so we went on a little drive. It went fantastic. Excuse the hat here right now, I'm a little crazy. The wife actually came back and said after a good, I think we drove the car for probably a solid hour today. About halfway through the drive, the wife said this actually isn't so bad. They do hug a little tight, and she's always not liked really tight hugging seats like that. She said it hurts her hips. I guess she's an old lady. I guess it makes sense for Corvette owners. I guess we're old. So the very last thing to do before we call it a day on this install is to remove some of the fuses so it doesn't drain the battery. So what generally happens is, since we unplugged those modules under the seats, the computer is going to continue to search for them. After 2 days, according to the internet, drains the battery. So we're going to pull fuses number 3, 4, 35, and 36. So we're gonna pull those real quick. It's in the footwell of the passenger, so that's why I'm on the passenger side right now. All right, so we're in the footwell. I got everything opened up. We're gonna go on this guy. So we're gonna look in this for 3, 4, 35, and 36. So there's 35. Where's 36? I'm blind. Up here. Oh, and 3 and 4 right next to it. So it's like this. Okay, cool. So it'll be this guy right here. So that was 36, 35 is right here. Number 3. Oh, these are little 15 amp guys. Or,
you hear those motors growling? They take some power.
They really do. All right, putting this back. Well, that's it, boys. That's everything we did to install these really affordable Amazon seats into your C5 Corvette. If you guys are doing this, hope this helped answer any questions. Hope you guys got a good laugh out of me trying to do things sometimes, because I'm kind of an idiot. I'd say it's pretty good. The wife gave the thumbs up on them, kind of. Maybe a 50% thumbs up. She said they're not that bad, so positive. But in the driver's seat, honestly, it feels like an entirely different car. Absolute blast. Freaking love it. Can't wait to keep driving this thing around. I think we're gonna take it out tonight, go to dinner, have a good time. But yeah, I think that's it, boys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you share with a friend. You know the deal. Like, subscribe, comment, all the things. We'll see you guys next time. But until then, see you later.